Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to this walkthrough of a very special deck. And I should tell you from the beginning, this is probably going to be a bit of a tease and there may be a whole lot of work involved in getting one of these for yourself. So I'm very sorry. And I'm also sorry I didn't get around to this until such point as it is a lot of work. But, well, I guess it was a lot of work either way. You know what? We're just going to dive into this because I'm not making any sense. So what we're going to be looking at today is the Vintage Botanical Oracle. Now, I can't remember when I first found out about this, but it was probably over a year ago. I was tootling around on YouTube and I found a video of somebody walking through this deck. Now, I will try to remember to have a link to that video down below so you can check it out. But the creator of that video pointed to the website where the creator of this deck, or these images I guess, had made them available for free for download for anybody to take the files, put them up onto a card, print your own deck site like Make Playing Cards or what's the other one? I think GameCrafter you can do it too. There may be others. And once you upload the images, you could print a copy of this deck for yourself. Now, I remembered at the time that I saw this video going to the website, downloading all of the files, uploading them all up onto Make Playing Cards, and then I promptly forgot. And one day, like recently, I was on Make Playing Cards and I stumbled back onto my account and I don't remember how I found them. I think it was in saved projects or something, but I realized that all of these files were still there. And I was like, oh, I forgot all about that. So I went to go Google it again to see if I could find the person's website who had made these images available, and I couldn't find the website anymore. And I was like, oh no, like I might not be able to get these files again later. If I don't print it, I may never get a hold of it. So I went ahead and ordered myself a copy. Now, in the meantime, I believe I found, and I will have all the information down below for you, a link to somebody who figured out how to access these files still using, I believe, the Wayback Machine, like it's an internet archive kind of thing. So if that's still available, I will link it down below for you so you can check out the blog post where I found those instructions and you can look into how to get one of these printed for yourself. With that said, I still want to show it to you guys because I am going to be working with it and I think it's really, really well done and lovely and I really want to share it. But just be prepared, this won't be as easy as going to a website and clicking buy. There will definitely be some work involved in the sense that you'll have to find the files, download them, and then upload them into a site. But this is a deck of 100 cards. Actually, I think it's technically 99 and the card back was the 100th or something. I'm not sure. But let me show you how these are set up. So they were originally formatted, I believe, for a larger card size, like an oracle card size, but I printed them up on a tarot card size. Now, what the creator of this has done is essentially just taken vintage botanical drawings that must have been in the public domain and then put its name here at the bottom in English and then in Latin and then some keywords. And I just think this is so beautifully done for working with plant energies, and it really excited me when I first saw it. And then again, like I said, I just forgot about it for a while. And I'm so glad that I printed this up. Now, I printed it on Make Playing Cards basic cardstock. I think this is the standard smooth cardstock. But if you print this yourself, you can choose to print it on linen. You can print it on Superior Smooth, which is their slightly higher end cardstock. But with a deck this big, it's like I said, it's 100 cards or 99 or something. I really didn't want to go too thick with the cardstock, and I was concerned linen would be a little too slippery to handle, so this is what I went with. I'm actually pretty pleased I chose this cardstock. I think it's going to shuffle nicely. We'll see at the end. But for now, I'm just going to take you on a tour through all of the cards, and we're just going to dive in. One thing I really liked about this deck when I first saw it was how expansive the keywords are. I feel like this deck would work well predictively, but I also really love that these are actual botanical drawings, so you can really see the anatomy of the plant, and I think that's really cool. You can also see on a lot of the images, like down at the bottom here, you can actually see the name of the plant also right in the drawing, like right about there. So first we have Arabian Coffee, Energize and Invigorate. Gum Arabic, Cleanse and Harmonize. Pine, Hope and Helping Hands. Hemlock, Judgment and Justice. Valerian for Crossroads. Walnut, Summer Solstice and Communication. So I would be more likely to use the communication keyword there. Marshmallow, Spirit World and Sacred Space. Angelica, Protection Against Enhancements, enchantments. Jimson weed, communion with spirit. Peppermint, improve mental faculties. Sweet iris, to gain notice. Golden seal, rise and conquer. Silver fir, rebirth and progression. Again, I really love these anatomical, like these botanical drawings. These like, because you can see parts of the flower, the seed. I mean, it's just, oh, I love it. Coriander, make amends. I'm not sure how to pronounce this one. Cassia wood, wishes and reach the sky. Another thing I like about this is because it's all based on botanical drawings, it doesn't feel like it's overly geographically centered in one specific area. So sometimes botanical decks will focus only in plants, say, from North America or maybe from Europe or whatever. And this feels like it's a little more widespread. Clove, securing desired outcome. Cinnamon, rite of passage. Lavender, keep calm and soothe the spirit. Lemon, building trust. Colt's foot, swiftness. Black pepper, abundance by trade. Tamarind, facilitate friendships. Pomegranate, duality and balance. Poplar, shield from warrior and enemy. Aloe, the time between. Comfrey, wander without worry. Tobacco, evolution of consciousness. Absinthium, conjuring. I think that's absinthe, like what absinthe's from, but I mean, don't quote me on that. Strychnine, beware the poison of others. So it does include poisonous plants as well as like edible plants. It just runs the gambit. Allspice, fruitful gains. Linseed, to quiet the spirit of others. Hellebore, dispel restlessness. Raspberry, make amends. Spearmint, jealousy begone. Rue, remembrance and healing. I'm just going to move these other cards out of the way. Caraway, strength of will. European beech, the written and spoken word. Sour cherry, benevolence and gifts. Laurel, competition and reward. And laurel, as we know, features in like laurel wreaths within the tarot, where it is used as a recognition, a symbol of recognition. Irish moss, belonging to the fae. See what I mean about geographic, like it just doesn't seem to pigeonhole itself. Blessed thistle, dispel negativity. Cherry laurel, hardships to end. Mistletoe, secession or succession. Opium poppy, addiction and obsession. Wild thyme, just going to straighten my pile here. Bravery in times of war. English oak, the power and direction of will. Red sandalwood, psychic harmony. Nutmeg, devotion begets good fortune. Licorice, control the situation. Elder, building the fire. Cardamom, improve communication. Sweet almond, love and devotion. Belladonna, sleep and astral travel. Balm mint, to bring home merriment. Cayenne pepper, disorientation and confusion. Sweet fennel, sharpen the sight. Mallow, mental and emotional flexibility. Soap bark, clear physical excess. Butterfly orchid, unrequited affection. Orange mullein, dispel bewitchment. Ipecac, purging negativity. This one cracks me up because Ipecac syrup was something that I grew up having in the house, because syrup of Ipecac is what you could give to someone to induce vomiting if they'd had something they shouldn't have. So it was like a common household item when I was growing up. I didn't ever realize, I guess, and so much of our medicine is like straight homeopathic. I shouldn't say that. A lot of our medicine is definitely based on natural medicines, natural plants, but we've parsed them apart chemically and stuff. And I just think it's really interesting because I never realized Ipecac was even a plant. Olive, extend the olive branch. Dandelion, symbol of hope. Wild pansy, the triple goddess. I love that. Cacao, poetry, inner vision, and music. Norway spruce, peace in purpose. Sweet clover, to live without care. Henbane, offerings to the dead. Snake root, root out deception. Camphor, improve physical wellness. Quinine, ward off infection of spirit. Hollyhock, offerings to the dead. Cascarilla, purify intention. Buckthorn, strengthen through adversity, or strength through adversity. I just realized these are not even in any kind of like alphabetical order. Common yarrow, psychic powers and visions. Rosemary, peaceful household. Quince, protection against evil eye. Vanilla, makes sweet the sour. Beetle palm, breaking bad habits. Turmeric, grounding and centering. Arnica, to still the spirit. Wheat, for achievement. Fenugreek, ease nervousness. Sassafras, transformation through faith. Chamomile, fertility and growth. Juniper, cleansing of spirit. Cabbage rose, abundance without substance. Ginger, prosperity in all things. Grape, celebration, of course. Castor bean, detoxify hearth and home. Orange, encourage happiness. Alexandria senna, to benefit others. Flowering ash, restoration of all things. Common hop, in honor of Bacchus. Mayapple, difficult decisions. Sage, the rise and fall. Foxglove, to prevent intervention. Venus chariot, change and malleability. Meadow saffron, fidelity to goals. Oops. Apple, fruit of knowledge. All right, let's zoom out. So the Vintage Botanical Oracle, you can see how it has that sort of vintagey feel. I will say, even with this thin cardstock, it's a chunk. Like, I definitely can split it and riffle it, it looks like, but it's a beefy little deck. Thankfully, this cardstock for Make Playing Cards shuffles really nicely. It's thin, it's flexible, so you won't have any trouble. I think if you printed this on a thick cardstock, it would be a problem. But let's just take a look at sort of how I might read these. So let's say we'll just pull 3 cards, Energy, Obstacle, Advice, and see what we think of these messages, like, in action. So one more shuffle. And let's pull some. Okay, so energy. Chamomile, fertility and growth. So something is growing. It's a good time for new ventures. It's a good time to start something new. It's a fertile time. Things are likely to grow and take root. The obstacle. Hellbore, dispel restlessness. So there's a chance that maybe one could rush a little too quickly into something, right? There could be, restlessness can indicate that we may jump into things before we're ready. We may have that sort of itchy feet, or we're ready to like sort of make a change. While the time is ripe for growth, if we are too hasty or we act from that place of restlessness, that's not necessarily going to serve our best interest. And the advice, quinine, ward off infection of spirit. So I think these are working really well together for me. It's like, okay, the time is ripe for something new, the ground is fertile, but if you let restlessness sort of drive in, or drive your actions, or sort of drive what comes next, that's going to be a problem. So you want to really be aware of that. And the advice, ward off infection of spirit, is to stay focused, I think, on the why of what you're doing. Like, what is it you want to plant? How do you want to make it grow? Stay focused on that so that you don't let things like this sort of drag you down and pull you off course. That's how I would read those 3 cards together in a spread. Let's try another 3. So energy, energize and invigorate. So coffee. So it's a very energized time, right? There's a lot of energy going on. Obstacle, strychnine, beware the poison of others. Well, that's very straightforward, right? That came up perfectly in that position. And advice, licorice, control the situation. Wow, that was like very direct. I don't even, like, it's an energetic, it's a high energy time. Watch out for other people's stuff and stay in control of the situation. Okay, I like it. Let's do another 3. Energy, snake root out deception. So the energy, something's going on. Something's happening underneath the surface. Something you're not necessarily aware of. What's the obstacle? Psychic harmony. Almost like, I almost get the feeling like you're getting those gut feelings. Like psychic harmony to me makes me think of like the messages you're getting from spirit. Like, are you listening? Have you been getting those synchronicities and just not paying attention because you're too comfortable where you're at? And then the advice, offerings to the dead. Think about the lessons of the past, right? Think about lessons from your ancestors or from previous family members who've made mistakes. Like, what can you learn about your current situation from the mistakes of others who you've encountered in your lifetime? Or simply from your own. When we think about the dead, what are the things that we've laid to rest? Our past situations, our past relationships, and our experiences. How can we like lean into those? So I think this can work really well. And because there's so many cards, I feel like there's a lot of room to play here and a lot of room for different meanings to come through, different messages to come through. I think this is a really cool deck. And it's one of the only like sort of plant-based decks that I've really been this excited to work with. But that, my friends, is the Vintage Botanical Oracle. Again, I will have links to everything that I can to help you put this deck together for yourself if you would like to put one together for yourself in the description box down below. And I will also have a link to where the video that I first encountered that featured this deck. I definitely encourage you to check that out as well and get that person's impressions. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please be sure to click the like button if you enjoyed this walkthrough. Comment down below with your thoughts on this deck and what you think about something like this with these botanical drawings. You could possibly even, if these images are open source, out in the great wide internet, put something like this together yourself with your own keywords. It would be quite a project. I'm way too lazy for that. But if those images are in the public domain or you're doing it for your own personal use, that's something you could look into as well. But again, thank you so much for hanging out. Remember, if you would like to book a reading with me, you can always do that over at supportivetarot.com. Thank you again for hanging out with me, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye, guys.